All right, so I hope you guys are doing okay today. I'm on vacation and I'm in the middle of putting a video together for you guys to see with the road trip that I've been doing. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the biggest problem that I've had with Tesla in the last few years, because I actually have had a Model Y for about 3.5 years now, a Model 3 for 3 years, and I've had the Plaid for going on a year. At the end of this month, it'll actually be a year. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about my biggest problem that I've had with the car, or not the car, but Tesla in general. And in order to do that, we need to go in the car. So let's go, let's meet in there. All right, you guys, now that we're back in the car, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the projected mileage next to the battery icon, okay? So in the Model S and the Model X, the battery percentage and the battery icon is in the instrument cluster, okay? It's not over here in the center screen like it is with 3 and Y. And in order to go back from percentage to mileage, you have to go over here to display and you have to scroll down and you have to change it to distance, okay? So now over here we can see that it's not battery percentage anymore. It is mileage. And in the 3 and the Y, that icon is in the center display here, and you can just touch the battery icon there to go back and forth between those two views. And what I want to talk about a little bit is the projected mileage that we're seeing here. Roughly for the last 3 years, up until here recently, that mileage there was the over-exaggerated EP estimates Tesla was giving and kind of advertising, right? They were essentially advertising that their cars could go further than what they really could. And they had this EPA formula that they were able to, the gimbal's going crazy. They had this EPA, this inflated EPA mileage that was displayed here. And this inflated mileage was also what was displayed on their websites when you're looking at these cars to actually make a purchase. And a lot of people that were new to Tesla that were buying these cars, it wasn't making sense for them. They were like, hey, it's showing I have 220 miles here, but my battery's like at 50%, right? And that math does not equate. And so the only way to get the real true mileage was to pull up the Energy app here in the car, including 3 and Y, to get an actual projected range, okay? And that was the only way to really kind of figure out now that, hey, like, this is really what the car is saying I can actually get. But that number did not, wasn't even close to this number here, displayed next to the battery icon. And that was a real issue, right? It just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense for me, and it didn't make sense for new Tesla owners. And when they were buying these cars, they ended up in these Tesla chat groups on Facebook. And they're like, hey, guys, why doesn't this make sense? And the only answers we could give each other was, don't use that metric, use battery percentage. Well, honestly, from a consumer from a consumer point of view, that just doesn't make sense at all, right? Like this should be the shortcut for this projected range right here. And unfortunately, it wasn't. And that was my biggest gripe with Tesla. And then what third-party vendors that were testing these cars, they started to find like Car and Driver and Edmunds and Throttle House and all these other car reviewing channels on YouTube, what they were starting to figure out was like, hey, these cars don't actually go as far as Tesla is claiming. Now, with that being said, here at the beginning of 2025, that has changed. Tesla low-key and quietly deflated those numbers, and now they're a little bit more accurate in regards to real-world driving. So, for the most part, these two numbers match up, okay? Like, there's, like, what, about an 18-mile difference there? But but the car is also parked and it's idle right now, right? And the car's actually charging. So, but if I was to hit the road, these numbers would actually line up pretty well. And so for the most part, they have fixed the biggest problem that I have had with them. And that's a good thing for the consumer. Consumers, it's really important, especially because electric cars are still relatively new to the market and there's still all this, what we could consider FUD. Transparency is really important. And so I'm really glad that they fixed those numbers, because when these other legacy automakers were starting to put out electric cars, their numbers weren't quite the same as Tesla, but that's because they were not overinflating them. And so what has happened here recently is the government has actually cracked down on that with electric cars. And the government is actually forcing these automakers to be a little more transparent with these range numbers. And so in that sense, I like that they did that. However, I actually think they should treat this a little bit more like they do traditional gas cars. And what I mean by that is in traditional gas cars, there's like highway gas mileage and city gas mileage, right? And so I think electric cars should actually come with a highway range and a city range. I think that is the best way to actually advertise electric cars. It should be very similar to gas cars. So anyways, you guys, that's my biggest problem. I'm in the middle of vacation. I think I'm gonna wrap this video up, but I just wanna also let you know that I'm working on another video. Basically, it's a road trip with the Model S. And it looks like I'm gonna actually break this down into two parts because I've collected so much footage and I just wanna really share the amazing views that I've been able to kind of see out here. And for those reasons, I think I'm going to make that into two videos. But in any case, that's all I have for this particular video. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.